What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on our Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. I'm Daniel Greer. I'll be your host for today. I'm also going to have my two guys, your two guys, Rob and Mark will be with me just shortly. But today on the show, it's all about the 12 pack of plays. It gets you ready for the entire weekend. But we're going to start off talking some Indiana versus Oregon, the big game tonight, the college football playoff game. We'll break all of that down. We'll also revisit what happened last night between Ole Miss and Miami. And then from there, we're also going to discuss the NFL playoffs. We have all the games except for Mondays, because Monday we do have a show live on the same YouTube channel or wherever you're watching on social media at 2 p.m. Eastern. We go live at the exact same time Monday. We'll break down that Monday night game. But today, we're going to continue to just kind of move our way through the NFL and the college football playoffs en route to shooting your shot, where you can put your best play in. Plus 1,000 or more get you in the saloon. Nobody's been in for a hot minute. And so because of that, we need somebody to give us some of that good juju. And so let's go ahead and look at some bad juju. But here, yes, Pavel sucked. Keontae sucked. Let's move on to two guys who don't suck. And these are my two guys. We got Mark and Robbie. Marky Model. What's up, buddy?
DG, Rob, look, I am so pumped up. We got a weekend full of meaningful football. And, God, yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I'm excited about the entire weekend. And, Rob, let me just ask a simple question, because you know what? We're just going to keep it a buck here. How's your Friday?
Keep it a buck. A buck. I got something that rhymes with buck. That's how this Friday has been with this stupid technology. I'll tell you, I could do a root canal procedure better than I can work this crappy technology. Two brand new laptops, and neither one of them work. It's in there scrambling before the show. I'm having a great Friday, DG.
Well, I'm glad I asked. It sounds like you've had an exceptional Friday, and it sounds like your root canal type of Friday is enjoyable for me, because I get to laugh at you, and this is awesome. But people are asking the important question: did Mark shrink? He's probably sitting down a little bit lower than normal, but yes, we'll ask him to step up and stand on business. If you know, you know. All right, let's get to the game that happened last night. And Mark, leading off with you on this one, we had Miami come back and storm late. They ended up scoring when I believe it was like 19 seconds to go in the game. Yeah. And we had a Beck rushing for a touchdown. The just everything parted, and he was able to do that. I believe they said he hadn't had a rushing touchdown or something since week 7, which obviously means he doesn't do it a lot. But just overall on the game, your thoughts just overall.
Look, it was the type of game that I think we've all wanted during these playoffs, right? It was a competitive game. There were so many moments where you were just like, screaming. And full disclosure, I was playing a gig last night, watching the game as we were playing and trying to focus and concentrate on both. It worked out well because I had the over in that game and the gig went off without a hitch. So, yeah.
Nice. Rob?
I love the game. I picked Miami to win on one of those goofy boosts, one of the boosts that they gave me at the books. So Miami winning was nice for me. I hate Miami, but I'll take cash any day. It was an awesome game. And did you all watch the post celebration?
Yes.
Cristobal wanted nothing to do with that. The first thing he said is get more players up here. None of these, I don't know who these people are. I was like, that sounds like something I would say. I actually chuckled at that a little bit.
Yeah, Mario Cristobal was definitely mad at that. Whatever was happening there. And even when he grabbed the trophy, he grabbed it and just palmed it and just put it up with one hand. I'm like, that's like, it just didn't look right. He had it backwards. It wasn't like he was showing it to the crowd. Like none of that. Like it just looked off. I don't know if it would be a guy I would love to play for. I think he's a guy that if you know him, you probably love him. If you don't, you probably don't really like him or despise him a little bit. So I think he gives that vibe off for sure. But just overall, Mark, Miami making it now to the championship game, and we're about to talk about the game that's tonight. Do you think that they are a deserving team for college football to at least, be one of the teams in the college football finals?
Yeah, look, you go back to the start of the year, right? Miami was ranked in the top 10 at the time when the season kicked off. they take the 12 highest ranked football teams, put them into this playoff. And I think if anything, it really shows how slim of a margin of talent is in that top 12, top 15 teams for college football. I think that we've kind of got used to this notion that, well, there's a handful of teams and that's who it's going to always play out against. I think Miami's shown everybody, if you're within that top 15, you have a chance to be national champion.
I agree. Rob?
Agreed. And they're going to get to play at home for the national championship game. It'll be the first time they've sold out at home forever. So at least they're going to have some Indiana or Oregon fans come actually show up to that game. I think he was mad and he grabbed that trophy because that's the last trophy he's going to get this week.
Ooh. Speaking of that, let's go to this game, who might be their opponent in that game. And Mark, you're looking at an Oregon-Indiana game that the line is roughly, it's 3.5. It's kind of where it stayed at with a total of 48.5. How do you tackle this game tonight?
Look, I think if anything, the thing that stands out to me really is the shift in where the betting public has gone with this game. I think when these two teams met just over a month ago, you look at the spread then, and Oregon was a 7.5 point favorite over the same Indiana team. They are now the underdog, and I think that's a huge swing. You're talking about a double-digit swing in point spread. But I think actually Oregon's playing better football now than they were back then. So I think what stands out to me is that we're going to get another incredibly competitive game. Google me. Signetti he's the real deal. And I'm sure he'll have Indiana fired up. And I think that the Ducks are dangerous. They're just a dangerous football team.
Yeah, and Dane Lanning, a phenomenal coach, as well as Kurt Signetti. So really two really good coaches. I know you could pass on Mario Cristobal if you don't really know him or like him. And honestly, he's probably not a big name. But I would say that these two coaches are probably revered now. Signetti, but Dane Lanning as well, are both revered in the college, I guess the universe of coaches in general. How do you see this game playing out, Rob?
So Oregon to me is the most talented team of the bunch out of these two guys, but Indiana is the more complete team. They play the better game. What Oregon's problem is, and was their problem their last game, is they shot themselves in the foot a ton. Penalties, dumb mistakes, that kind of thing has to tighten up in this one, because if it goes like that, like the last game, Indiana's going to roll all over them. I do think it's going to be very similar to the last game, but if Oregon wants to win, they got to go ahead and not make those stupid mistakes they made in the first game.
All right, well, I'm going to put feet to fire here because this is a good game, and I believe that two good coaches, two good quarterbacks, very good run games, very good defenses from both sides is very evenly matched. So let me go ahead and put yourself to the fire here. You got to stand on business. The total is 48.5, Mark, and the line is 3.5 in favor of Indiana. Which two plays would you go with in favor in this game?
Picking a side's easy. Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon. The total is the one that scares me, just because I think defensively both these teams are good. You know what? I would play the first half under in this game, because I think defensively this thing is going to be slow moving. The second half things would open up. I would attack the first half under.
All right, Rob.
Yeah, I think Oregon covers. I could see this game going over, especially if they can keep pace with one another. Like I said, not make the dumb mistakes. I could definitely see this game going over. Someone put it in the chat, overtime. I don't hate that play as well. If you got a boost, you just want to have some action on this game, maybe see if you can find a book that allows whether it be overtime. So I imagine you get a pretty great number for that. I definitely could see this going to extra.
Yeah, Sky to Ohio with some overtime. Helen Sun, Calvo with the Indiana cover. I like them Hoosiers for sure. And then Big Cheesy. Mendoza to throw an interception is only -105. And Mark, how many hammers?
Listen, that's a 3-hammer look from Big Cheesy. All right, I'm in. That's a confident play.
And how many hammers were there last night there, Rob, for Daquan Wright when he I guess he put his play in yesterday on the show?
I think it was like 5 hammers and a whale. So I think he definitely made a splash on that hit. I wish I could have bet it.
That's honestly, I can't say anything about that because the splash comment, all of that just fits so perfectly. So shout out to you. But let's go ahead and get to our picks. And guys, going to have to take a step back because I'm going to lead us off because I didn't give my official picks for this play. But what I'm going to do is do it right now. And it is time for the Hoosiers. And yes, I'm going to take the Hoosiers at -3.5. It's at -110, and I'm okay with that. I wanted to get it to a -3, so there's a potential for a push. But unfortunately, it's not anywhere that has the juice that's in my favor. But I love this Indiana team. They're going up against Oregon, who they beat at home in Eugene by 10 points. Now it is a neutral site game. Why wouldn't they just keep rolling? They're playing the best football that they played all season. Let's keep this thing rolling again. Now let's go to the NBA here. This is an early game. I believe it's a 7 o'clock Eastern start here. First half under 124.5 at -110 for the Pelicans and the Wizards. These two teams, let's be honest, they stink and they don't play defense, but they also suck on offense. And so I don't see there's a world they get to 125 points, and even our model backs us as well on that one. And so because of that, I like this thing to go under the 124.5. Let's see what Rob.
Yeah, let's see if these guys on the ice can do something other than cardio tonight. So the first one we're going to is Ryan Leonard of the Washington Capitals to get a point at -115. Since returning from injury, he's been nothing but consistent on the score sheet. He has 2 goals and 5 assists in his last 8 games prior to the injury. He's moved his way up to the top power play line with Alex Ovechkin and Dylan Strome. There's also some kind of flu bug going around Chicago right now. I know they're getting Connor Bedard back, but they're also going to be missing a few guys tonight. So I'm looking for Ryan to at least get on the score sheet. He has 2 goals in 2 games against the Blackhawks, so don't even hate sprinkling him for an anytime goal at +285. Then we're going to go to the Utah game. We're going to take Mikhail Sergachev. And I hate myself. I really do. 2 shots on goal at -128. We're going to see if something can change with the hockey. We're going to try to switch it up. I'm going to take his 2 shots on goal. If you want him for a point, it's -115. I don't hate that either. But at home, he has been absolutely blasting the puck. He's covered this in 9 of his last 10 at home and in 15 of his last 18. St. Louis, if you didn't see the other night, are absolutely terrible. Their goalie doesn't even want to come in to back up the other one. They're allowing a ton of shots on goal to defenders. I think they're averaging around 8.4 shots on goal in the season. Sergachev, he's also recorded 2 assists in their October matchup. So Sergachev for a point, Sergachev for 2 shots on goal. Either way, both are playable, and I love them both.
Look, let's start off the Friday with a really interesting way to approach these model plays for the NBA that we have. We're going to take 2 games. We're going to go with Houston and Portland and the Clippers and the Nets, Brooklyn Nets. We're going to take both first halves in each of those games to go over 101.5 for +121 odds. Look, I can give you all the stats all day. Trust me when I tell you these 4 teams play very, very quickly in the first half. They put up a ton of points. The over has cleared for Houston and Portland. It's cleared in 11 of the last 12 games between the 2 of them. And the Clippers and Brooklyn, they have been scoring machines in the first half. They've cleared this line. The Clippers have done it in 4 of the last 5, and in Brooklyn's 5 of the last 5. They've seen this one clip. And then I give this pick out now with some ambiguity. Well, you know what? No, not ambiguity. It got me questioning things because Big Cheesy is in the chat and he's all over the Ducks because I agree. It's so hard for especially a Dan Lanning team to get beat twice by the same team. And Indiana, Kirk Cignetti's going to have his team fired up. Are they good? Hell yes, they're good. Can they beat the Ducks twice in the same season? I don't think so. I think Oregon, if they don't win outright, they're at least covering the 3.5 here. It does also scare me that Big Cheesy gave out his pick with the Oregon Ducks, but he only gave it 1 hammer. So this is not a 1 hammer play for me, Cheesy. This is a 4 hammer mega whale. Mortgage everything. Duck sword.
Don't do that.
Did
you call it a Thor hammer?
I'm not.
Because a Thor hammer is better than 3 regular hammers. So if it's a Thor hammer, then hell yeah.
Of course it's a Thor hammer.
All right.
Yeah. Mega mortal. Well, I feel great that you're on the opposite side. Unfortunately, you have my buddy Big Cheesy with you. And honestly, as my mom would say, be careful of who you surround yourself. So Cheesy, honestly, like you might want to get yourself together because this isn't a good look for you. But I have Taj on my side, and I don't know about y'all, but Taj is a man of the people. Taj is a man's man. -3.5 for Indiana. We'll ride that together. So yeah, go ahead with your Oregon +3.5. Hard to beat a team 2 times. You have 2 times, but only 1 hammer. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, cheesy. We're against each other today, and that's okay with me. But I do have a couple questions for y'all before we move on to Saturday. Paterka, Cheesy has a problem. Obviously, hello, my name is Big Cheesy, and I have a problem betting on Paterka. Rob, do you like Paterka tonight?
Yeah, because honestly, I didn't bet him the last 3 times, but I have bet him at least in one of those 3 times, and he let me down too. It's a system play, just like with home runs and goal scorers. He's gonna get one. Might as well just keep. It's like a pyramid, right? You bet this amount, bet this amount. When he hits the 5, you're gonna get everything back. Just keep scaling it up. That's how I do.
What kind of a system is that? I'll play it until it wins.
Yeah.
What
have
the
a
hell?
broke system. All right. Well, let's move this thing on as we get en route to some NFL. And I know everybody's excited about the first round of the playoffs. This is wild card weekend. And so coming off of what should be, honestly, what was a phenomenal game last night, Thursday night's college football matchup was awesome. Tonight's is the game everybody was looking forward to. So that should be awesome as well. That's what I hope. No matter who ends up winning, should be a great game. And then it leads us into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 5 days of football, which is, I apologize for all the ladies of us, but also others that are degenerate gamblers. We're just going to be watching and hanging out with some sports and some football this weekend. But let's go to that first game because this is the game where the Rams are having to travel all the way across the country and take on the Panthers, to which they already did lose. Yeah, just outright. Not even against the spread. They did that too, but outright, 31-28. Mark, this game now is Rams -10.5.
Right.
Panthers 45.5. That's the total on this game. What do you like, and how are you attacking this game?
I am all over the Rams in this one. I think the Rams cover the 10.5. Look, the game that they played in Carolina earlier this season, the Rams have had a handful, and by handful I mean 3 or 4 really bad games this season. The game in Carolina was the worst one that they have had all season long. It doesn't happen twice. They come out and they boots to ass in Carolina.
All right, Michael Irvin. But we're also attacking players. And instead of looking at the sides and the totals of all these games, Rob, you are the player prop expert in our opinion. So how are you attacking this game? Do you have a guy that should be, honestly, one of the best players to look at in this game?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Kyron Williams. Nothing I've seen is going to change my mind on that. I like how you brought up the weather the other day was going to be terrible, raining, Carolina. Matthew Stafford does not fare well in that kind of environment. Blake Corum is still, he may be playing, but he's not going to be playing as much as he did because he's still dealing with a lingering injury. I love Kyron Williams in this spot. I think you give it to him early, you give it to him often. If he's having success, which most running backs do against Carolina, you just keep feeding him the ball.
All right, and if you look at this weather, it's going to be roughly 72 degrees at kickoff, 80% chance of precipitation. Yeah, easy for me to say. But if you want to check out, and I'm going to go over all these, but Kevin Roth, it's at Kevin Roth WX. He's on Twitter. But Kevin Roth, who does a great job for Roto Grinders, breaks this all down. He says, pretty good shot of rain here. Although we won't really know until closer to kickoff, but winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 20. And so that's kind of what we're looking at for that game. So let us know who you think might win this game outright or cover against the spread. I'd love to know as we keep breaking these games down. But let's go to the next one here on Saturday. Okay, back it up.
I was just going to ask a real quick question for Rob. I'm really interested and want to play Chuba Hubbard to get over 7.
Go ahead. I didn't know who you said.
Hubbard.
Okay.
Right? I didn't screw that up. Chuba Hubbard.
Making a ding-dong joke.
Yeah, got to. Low-hanging fruit. Anyway, over 7.5 rushing attempts. It's at plus 100.
I'm pulling it up now. I hate that backfield. I think Rico Dowdle is the best in that backfield, and they refuse to just let him take it over. When Chuba went down, he clearly proved he was better than him, but they keep splitting it. So for me, it's a stay away for either one of those guys in this one. LA Round, their defensive line is also really good too. So it's a stay away for me for both of those guys.
Great question out of Cheesy. I guess not a question, it's a statement. I don't see but one hammer here, but Adams and Williams, which is Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams, touchdown parlay plus 175. Both those guys to score. Rob, do you like it?
I do. The hamstring and Adams' age kind of worries me a little bit, but as Mike Evans proved, it does not really matter because when I said that about him, he came out with like 2 touchdowns and 100 yards receiving. So in the red zone as well, Devontae is Matt Stafford's guy. I love that play.
All right, we have some people here that one normally don't see, but M. Mockery, right? M. Mockery, whatever. Anyway, what's up, man? And thank you everybody for hanging out with us. All D Johnson here as well, Cheesy, all the regular OGs as well, hanging out here in this show. We're going to talk more about the NFL. This is the other game on Saturday before we get to our picks. It's Packers and the Bears. And real quick, one word answer. Is this, Mark, the best rivalry in the NFL? Yes or no?
No.
Rob?
No.
Yeah, screw these two teams. I hope they both tie and both lose and never get to play the rest of the playoffs. Mark, this game we're looking at it is pretty much a money line pick 'em. You can go -1 if you would prefer because you don't want to pay for any juice at all. But in my opinion, I'm going money line if I'm playing either one of these two teams. So pretty much who wins and the total around 44.5. What do you like?
Look, I think anytime you enter wild card weekend, right, you always have to look at the home team's record and how well they've done over the years. There's a couple of spots this weekend that I really love for the visiting team to come in and pull off an upset. And both of them are basically essentially pick 'em games. This Packers-Bears game being one of them. I like Green Bay here. I think Green Bay has the better team. I think that they have been more consistent year-round. I think all season long, I've always been surprised that the Bears are still doing what they're doing. And that surprise scares me because they shouldn't have been doing it for as long as they have this season. I think it's time.
All right. Well, Rob, obviously the player props are always hot. Who do you like in this game? Like, how can we attack this game? Because playoffs are always tricky.
So I don't trust a ton of the wide receivers on Green Bay. They spread it out too much, too inconsistent. But the one guy I do trust when he's full and healthy is Josh Jacobs. And I think he's finally fully healthy. I think he had a great game against the Bears. Not the last time, but the one prior to that. He had like 20 carries, 86 yards, 10 broken tackles. I love Josh Jacobs in this game. If you're looking to try to ladder someone, I wouldn't even mind laddering his props up. I think I gave it out at 71 yards. It's already moved up to, I think, 76 now. So the line is moving on his rushing yards. His anytime touchdown is still playable as well. You're talking about a guy who consistently found his way in the end zone this season. I think he gets in the end zone. I think he has a hell of a rushing day as well.
I like that. Kevin Ross says on the weather here, a few snow showers or flurries, definitely possible, but more concerned with the wind. It's coming in over about 15 miles an hour, just a sustained wind, which is 15 is a lot. It's I would say that's practically double within what you would normally get. But the gusts are going to be up to 30 miles an hour. And so at that point, you're talking about kicking is optional. Like, I don't even know if you can do it at that point. And the weather's going to be close to freezing. So it's only going to get colder. At the game time, it says it's 34, 33, right at freezing. And it's going to get colder a couple of degrees throughout the game. So I don't think that matters as much. But overall, I think this is going to be a weather-affected game. Does that play at all for you, Mark, into your analogy on this game?
Well, I think if you're attacking from a player prop standpoint, obviously you got to look at things like, the kicking is going to be impacted, possibly receiving to the extent that you're not going to get too many deep passes, especially if you're throwing against the wind. But the bottom line is both of these teams are cold weather teams. I mean, Lambeau Field is cold in the winter. So I don't think from a executional standpoint that either one of these teams is going to struggle to execute in the weather. I think it's going to be a matter of staying warm. That ground hurts when it's frozen. So, But yeah, I don't see it as being as big an impact as it could be for other teams.
All right. Well, let's go look at a couple of these Packers. Cheesy likes the Packers, and this is a five hammer, two well play, which is obviously interesting here. And so maybe we lose a well after your big well hit last night. But in more key, what I got to figure out how to say that. Is that Mark or Ron Jeremy? Have we seen both of you in the same room at the same time?
Ron Jeremy's in prison, I think. So I
think so.
Yeah.
Don't go to prison, Mark. You might have a doppelganger.
No.
All right.
I can't wait to go tell my wife. Someone thinks I look like Ron Jeremy.
Josh likes the Bears on the money line. Helen Calvo says that he expects DeAndre Swift to have a big game. He also likes the under on this one with Green Bay. But then Joe has a great question, Rob. Is this true? Josh Jacobs had his shirt off on the show?
Yeah, you made the graphic, so yeah, it is true.
I don't know. I thought you had done the graphic. I wasn't sure. All right.
Everyone here knows that I don't do graphics or technology. I covered that in the first 15 seconds of this show.
Mark, what you got?
No, I kind of like. I have the same kind of. It just hit me right now. Same kind of response as Miss Kim had. First of all, how the hell are you still thinking about Ron Jeremy? That's my question.
I never think about Ron Jeremy. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Forgot he existed. All right. Well,
I could see it though. I could see it.
Definitely see it.
I don't even know who he is.
Are you?
Google him.
Oh, hold on. But you were gonna go tell your wife somebody thought you were Ron Jeremy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We caught you. Caught you. Liar. You are a traitor, which by all means, if you have not checked out the first episode, Mark, have you seen any of the episodes yet?
Yeah.
Have you seen the whole first episode?
Yes.
Okay. Robbie,
Same.
any?
I watched 2. I've seen 2 of the 3.
Okay. I haven't even got through the second one yet. I'm close to the end of the second one. How phenomenal is it that we get one of us, our people, is an actual traitor? Miss Seabass, Miss Candace Dillard Bassett is a traitor. You should have saw. I popped last night. It was like 10 something, whatever it was. When I was watching the first one. I popped, and if you don't know what that means, it means like in wrestling, like you like kind of like excitement in a sense. I text Seabass right away. I go, she's an effing traitor. Holy effing S. And I was just like, that's why I text, and he like goes, my God, I love it. And so I don't know if he's playing me or what, but he seemed excited about it too. So I don't know if she's playing the best game right now, but Traders, the episode 1 and 2 have been really good. So hopefully everybody continues to play along with us because, or just watch along with us, especially on Thursdays, where we get to pretty much recap everything that just happened and talk about what's going to happen, because I don't know who this is. Yes, no spoilers, but we don't know who the actual other traders and everything else might be. There's a secret one. So it's very interesting, very fun. I enjoy Traders. I can't wait to watch it with my little one.
I have a good idea.
You have a good idea who the secret one is?
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, do you have a good idea? Don't say anything, Rob. Mark,
Not yet. Not yet.
I don't either.
Okay.
All right, so we're not going to talk about it. No spoilers on Fridays. We're gonna continue to keep on keeping on. But I appreciate everybody giving us all your thoughts and love of Traders. We want to support Seabass and his wife, but also we love the show. We're big fans. But let's go ahead and be big fans of Saturday plays. Rob, you're starting us off. Go.
Yeah, Kyron Williams. I mean, I just sung his praises a minute ago. I think he covers this line easily. He did it in the game where they actually stunk up the joint in Carolina. He still got his, and he scored a touchdown. His touchdown prop is still playable. I think it was around -125, -130. That was at FanDuel, so check FanDuel. They had the best odds for that. But, yeah, Kyron Williams is going to run all over Carolina this weekend. Matthew Stafford's going to look to his running back one to carry the load on this. I just love Kyron Williams. Like I said, all of his props are playable right now.
And I'm going with my guy, Kyle Monangai, to get over 9.5 rushing attempts. Look, he cleared this line his last game against the Packers. He has proven to be a backup to Swift that the Bears can trust. And I think that that's vital, especially in this game where we just finished talking about the weather's going to be a factor, right? It's going to impact the passing game a little bit more. They're going to have to look for rushing attempts, which means guys like Swift are going to get a ton of work. This is where Monangai steps in and is able to give him some breaks, give him that a little, catch my breath spots, and really provide some production at the same time. And I think if Monangai is able to do that, and they can keep Swift and not have to use him or rely on him as much, that just helps us play even more. I love this spot.
All right, from your guy to my team, and this is going to be the Carolina Panthers plus 10.5 at minus 110. And if you're wondering, yes, they did play in the season, and yes, they did win 31-28. The Panthers did, so they won outright. Now you're giving a team plus 10.5, a Rams team that hasn't looked great lately. Did they play all their starters when they went to Carolina? Yep. Are the Panthers 9-5 against the spread on the season? Yep. Are they 4-3 against the spread at home? Yep. All that leads me to say plus 10.5. Baby, I love it. We're going to go ahead and cash with Carolina this Saturday. It's going to be a great day. And boys, I think I'm going head to head with Mark this week, and I feel great about that.
On a lot of stuff. Oregon, Carolina, man.
This is great. I feel phenomenal. All right, let's go these last three games. We start off with the Bills and the Jags. We're looking at a money line on each side. You can get really good odds for either side, but also the Jags in this game, the total there at home, it's 51.5 there in Jacksonville. Mark, what do you like and what do you see about this game?
Oh, this one's going to be a shootout. I love the over here. I also like, listen, this is the other game I was talking about where I think that the visitors there can actually pull off the upset and walk out of there with the win. It's hard to go against a Josh Allen-led team right now when he's already got the playoff experience. He knows that this is his window, right? There is no more excuses for Josh Allen. This is it. He's got his shot. It's time for him to perform.
All right, Rob, what players are we liking in this game?
It's easy. It's CMC for me. I'll go into that more in depth here in just a minute, but it's CMC for me. Oh, my God. I'm looking at the wrong game. Yeah, okay. Trevor Lawrence in this game. My bad. Sorry, guys. Trevor Lawrence is going to be my player. Spoiler alert.
You were just picturing CMC with the cheesy tattoo on his chest, weren't you?
He was.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I could see. Could you see it in his glasses? There's a reflection off of his computer.
Absolutely. If he actually ate red meat, he'd be a lot more bulkier and a lot more thicker. But, that's a story for another day. Anyway, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to go off in this game. I love Liam Cohen. I think what he has done with Trevor Lawrence has been amazing. I think the Jaguars pull off the upset.
Wow. You and Scotty Juhadi with the Jags all day. I'm curious. Everybody's going against Mark. Mark, you're getting no love in this at all.
I'm out on Mark's island.
Yeah, you're definitely out on the island. I am torn on this game. I really do think that the Bills win this game, but the player props, like which direction do you go? I think there's so many different ways you could go. I think you can go Trevor Lawrence, Etienne, but honestly, I don't know how you go. You could tackle one of the receivers like Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., and then Jacoby Myers are all really good. You look at the Bills side, who are they going to throw to? Shakir? Like Palmer? Like what? Keon Coleman, who they complete just do a DMP. Like there's a lot going on. Either who?
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks,
the best one of the bunch.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know where you go in that game on player props. So that one's gonna be tricky, but it should be a shootout, just like Mark said for sure.
I like the receivers for the Jaguars, especially against the Bills defense. They are so soft in that secondary, especially over the middle. They give up a ton of yardage there. I'm also interested, Robert. What about James Cook for the Bills?
I looked at his props, and I know you can't really factor in last week, but the last couple of weeks he's been kind of low. Jacksonville doesn't give up a ton to running backs. Running backs are averaging 45.5 rushing yards per game. The running back one position is averaging right around 40.5 rushing. I mean, the highest one I'm looking at is 74. That was Jonathan Taylor. So, I'm not touching James Cook props this weekend. I think the Jags are legit on defense.
I agree. All right, well, let's go to the game where Robbie does have CMC. So let's go ahead and start with you on this one because we know that you love CMC. What do you like about CMC in this game?
I like the fact that he's their go-to guy and that they're going to have to rely on him, and his rushing number was severely low for even him. And I think you can't take his rushing and receiving. It's already at 108. I don't see him getting that. That's a good spot for an under. I can't believe I said that. But Philly does not allow running backs to catch the ball out of the backfield. Trent Williams did practice yesterday, and he is looking like he's going to play. When you get Trent Williams in the lineup with them, they're a completely different team. So I think CMC is going to have to be relied on heavily. Let me see what his rushing attempt is. It's at 17.5, and he's cleared that in 5 of his last 6.
Yeah.
He didn't clear it last week, but that was kind of a different game with Seattle. But I would look at his rushing attempts, and I love his rushing yards.
Yeah, Joe says this is a bad matchup for the 49ers. And let's look at this because hopefully we get a little bit more insight from, we do have a freak of a fan and Big Cheesy who is a 49ers fan. So maybe he gives us some insight on maybe what he thinks as well. But if you look at this, the total's at 44.5. They're in Philadelphia. The weather seems to be in the 40s. No precipitation. I almost said precipitation. But the Eagles -5.5. That's a big number, in my opinion, against a good 49ers team. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think that the 49ers can, no question, put up points offensively. They can move the ball. The biggest question is going to be, can their defense finally show up and stop a team? They have won their games as of late, but they've won them because they're shootouts. And it's basically the last team that has the ball, can score, right, they win the game. I think you're asking a lot for this 49ers defense to come in to Philly and deal not just with a colder environment, right? They're not used to playing in 40s and 30 temps. Dealing with the environment plus the home field environment that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have, I think it is going to be a very tough spot for the 49ers.
Well, they should get Ricky Pearsall back. I don't understand what's going on with George Kittle as well. Do you have any insight at all as why George Kittle doesn't have any lines out, Robbie?
I don't. The only thing I saw was like you, Ricky Pearsall and Trent Williams.
He's not even on the injury report.
So I'm showing lines. Receiving lines 50. Yeah, there's lines on Doink as of right now.
It just popped up.
Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, he should be good. But you speak of George Kittle. The Philadelphia defense does not allow a ton to the tight end. I know we're talking about one of the best in the league, but 21.5 to the tight end number 1, that scares me. I don't know. It is Kittle. It is prime time. Let me see and in the playoffs, his last 2 playoff games, 4 receiving yards and 27 receiving yards. So not even as of late has Kittle been great in the playoffs.
All right. We'll see how that game rolls out and whether or not we have a sad cheese dog.
Let me ask y'all this too, because I just thought of this. The Niners defense is already bad. Robert Saleh is getting head coaching calls right now. I can remember back when Dan Quinn was with Dallas and we absolutely didn't show up on defense against Green Bay, I believe it was, in the playoffs. Does any of that affect this Niners defense as well with all the injuries and the fact he's already taken head coaching calls?
Mark?
I think if we were talking about a college game, absolutely, it does change the dynamic there. I think at a professional level, they understand that this is all a business and that they can all be shifted, moved, traded at the drop of a hat. So I think that they're probably a little more conditioned to respond to that and still treat this as, hey, we know what our jobs are good. We know what our job is. Yeah. Let's go out and execute. Doesn't matter who's calling the plays or, however it's being done. Let's just make it happen.
And I understand what you're saying, Robbie, but like in my I guess opinion would be that he isn't guaranteed a job. He's already had a head coaching job, so it wouldn't be his first one, right? And so he's already been fired before. So if you can get that defense to show up in the playoffs, now that actually would give him a chance to get more interviews and a better look. If his team comes out flat and doesn't look good, that's, in my opinion, I'm probably not going to hire that guy no matter how much I really like him, because if you can't get your team to show up in the playoffs against a team in Philly, that's good. That's where I kind of would go the opposite direction.
Yeah, he is dealing with a crap ton of injuries too, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams are going to put that in perspective. Cheesy talked about Saquon. He's another one that I'm still going back and forth, but I think Saquon has himself a day as well against the Niners.
Okay, well, we'll see. But yeah, see, he said even fired by the Jets doesn't count. Sorry.
Yeah, and Joe talking about our Cowboys-Packers game. You're a Vikings fan. You should never, ever cheer on the Packers. I hate the Niners.
I know Joe was on the show today.
But
I just checked. I still don't even see Joe in the show today. I don't even know what you're talking about. All right, let's go to the night game, which we have a show at halftime of this game, and it's those Los Angeles Chargers, those sunny weather boys, got to go over to New England, all the way across the country, and it's going to be frigid. Let me just share a little bit about what Mr. Kevin says. Temperatures around freezing with a 10-mile-an-hour wind, which means you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. So what is Justin Herbert going to do? The total is 45.5. It's showing the Patriots -3.5. Mark, this is your team. This is your squad. What do you like in this game?
First of all, bolt up, fam, because it's going to be a rowdy halftime for me. Absolutely. I'm all over the Chargers here, right? Look, I don't know if you know this, DG, but in every single home game that the Chargers have played this year, not a single one of those games experienced a drop of rain. They have been the luckiest weather team all season at home. I think this whole notion about the weather is going to impact them, absolutely. But they're getting a guy like Omarion Hampton back. He can chew up that the Patriots defense, and I think it really helps Herbert with the passing game if Hampton's able to run.
Well, we'll see, but even Joe is not even on your side, which this is a scary day. You are on island. You don't understand the Chargers' love. People are showing a lot of love to them. He's laddering the Patriots up to -16.5. This is
I love it, Joe.
Blowout.
I love it, Joe. This is that reverse psychology that we're looking for.
Yeah, 0 playoff wins from Mr. Herbert. But Rob, who are we looking at? What players can we love out of this game?
Well, you can't love any running backs from New England because you don't know who's going to get the love from Vrabel. You can't love any of their wide receivers because they're really hit or miss. I don't know who's going to win this game. I think it's going to be the Patriots. I think it's going to be pretty convincingly. But if the Chargers are going to win, it's going to be because of Omarion Hampton. The Patriots prior to last week, because they played a Dolphins team that were already checked out, they're giving up 100-plus rushing yards in 4 of their last 5. Omarion Hampton is the clear number 1. Vidal, I think, still dealing with injuries. I think you got to look at Omarion Hampton. His line is at 47.5, which kind of scares me, if I'm being honest. That's a low number for a good running back. He has 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games. If there's going to be an MVP, it's going to have to be Omarion Hampton for the Chargers.
Well, he hasn't really done anything in practice this whole week. Like, there has been speculation that he could still not play. And so at that point, that's Omarion Hampton. And that's honestly, like, it makes me nervous. It wouldn't make me nervous to bet on him because I would say that if he does play, I think he's going to be a full go. But there's a chance that he could get out there and honestly just kind of is a shell of himself and has to be pulled out and just can't fire on all cylinders. And so at that point, that might be something I would stay away from. But Sky Johati likes Keenan Allen anytime Tutter here. But Cheesy calls this Patriots defense a little sketch.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're Cheesy's on your side a lot today, which is not, like I said, not a good spot for anyone to be at.
Listen,
so we'll see.
All I know is that I love how Robbie says, I don't really know who's going to win this game, but I really like the Patriots. In fact, I think they win handedly.
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Dodge likes Justin Herbert to go 26.5 rush yards as well, which is a good look.
Okay. I don't know. I think for Herbert it is, but when you look at the Patriots defense, they've allowed 12 rushing yards to 3 different quarterbacks in the last 3 weeks. And that's with it's the Jets. Again, you can't count the Jets.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Right. I looked at that. So, but no.
We'll see if the Chargers completely fold and die this weekend. But you know what else is happening? Here in our chat, we might have somebody that got folded and might be dead on arrival because Mama Hockey just shares a little information. And I wasn't aware that he was even here in the show today. He might be, but Joe Neuenfeld, Joe secretly loves the Cowboys because he's talked more about them to the point I don't even know who he pulls for because Dallas is all she sees from him here in the chat. Joe,
Wow.
this is where you open up your burn book and a picture of Mama Hockey is staring right at you. That's just how it be sometimes. Sorry, Joe. But yes, you made me say your name, and I did. But let's get to our Sunday picks. Speaking of spicy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's gonna turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't-miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Yeah, run CMC. I've already covered everything. Trent Williams is the key to this prop, though. When Trent Williams is there, the Niners average 131.9 rushing yards. When he's not there, they only average 93.8, and they're 4-13 without him. So I really need Trent Williams to be healthy. I still think this line is too low. I think 57-plus rushing yards is a great line for CMC. The Eagles have been a little suspect over the last few weeks. They've allowed Chris Rodriguez, and they allowed James Cook to go over this. I would still stay with CMC. I don't really trust any of the Niners wide receivers, especially if Kittle's got something going on. So look for them to lean heavily on CMC. His touchdown was at -125. It's only gone up to -132. Still playable, or if you have a boost, you can utilize that or maybe wait pregame. Yeah, give me a run CMC to take over. Don't think the Niners are going to win. Sorry, Cheesy, but I think he's going to have a big day.
Look, it's time for a little Bills Mafia, and I am taking them to win this game in Jacksonville. And let me begin by saying Trevor Lawrence and the Jags have been absolutely fantastic the second half of this season. There's no denying that at all. All right. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Cohen, he clearly has edges both from a play calling perspective and a cultural perspective for that team. He is really starting to give that team an identity that they're rallying behind. I love this spot for them. Since November, their only loss came against the Houston Texans team, who arguably has the best defense in the league. So what I'm saying here is, what then can you start basing the handicapping, and how do you start approaching this game? You got to look at the experience. And when I look at the experience, you're talking about Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, who they're a quarterback coach tandem in 13 playoff games so far. And this is actually going to be Cohen's first playoff game as a head coach. Now, Trevor Lawrence, he's 1-2 in playoff games. Again, different team, different time. So put into that what you will. I just am backing Josh Allen and Sean McDermott here because I think the Bills are coming in. They're healthier than they've ever been at this point in the season. I think that they are starting to fire on all cylinders, and in a shootout, they steal the win in Jacksonville.
All right, let's go to that same game here with Parker Washington. He has been, honestly, the wide receiver number 1, especially out of the last 5 or so weeks. 50-plus receiving yards at -110. And honestly, if you look at how this game plays out, I see a shootout. Most people see a shootout at this point. But he's the hot guy. You're talking about he's averaging 100 yards over the last 4 games, and he's went over the line 50-plus or more in 5 of the last 6. I expect to see a good weekend out of Duval County. And I'm going to see maybe we get a shocker out of Jacksonville because they could actually win that game. And I hate saying that because I love Josh Allen, but man, there could be a big win out of Jacksonville. That would not shock me at all. And even though that would go up against Mark one more time at this point, but why not? I
hope y'all know when you go this heavy against Mark, the phones are going to be blowing up. If it's
100%. I'm okay with that.
It'll be midnight tonight after that game goes to overtime in Oregon somehow. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
100%. All right, well, it's the time where everybody gets to shoot their shot, see if they can get into the saloon. Been a little quiet lately, but I feel like this week I have the best shot I've had all year. I'm feeling great. if we look here, we got Tony, Boom Boom, Robbie Hockey, Joe is the inaugural winner. You even got 4 for Miss Kim. I'm in there. Miss Nonsense from Mr. Nonsense, which shout out to Nonsense McGee. We hadn't seen him in a while. I know his work schedule changed, and that's why he hasn't been here. But I do know that he's watching, as well as our guy Derek Napoli. Literally just heard from him yesterday. Was upset that he's not being able to watch the show live, but catches it every single day. So shout out to them for sure. But 4 mugs in, none for you, Mark. I know you have to be feeling a certain way, but here's where you can get a chance to get your FOMO out of the way. But Rob, it's your stage. Lead us off, sir.
Yeah, Cheesy had a question. How do you get in for the chat? It has to be minimum 4 legs and it has to be plus 1,000 to get in for you guys. For us, it's
max 4 legs.
Yeah, at max 4 legs. For me, I'm already in. That's why I haven't really tried this hard. But I'm going to take Devontae Smith plus 1,100. His target share in the first quarter is around 42%, and his red zone share is around 37.5 in the first quarter. He has at least 1 touchdown in his last 5, or the first touchdown in his last 5. Give me the Slim Reaper to get me in again.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Mr. P-Dub, and that's all I'm thinking about is a dub plus 1,400. I'm not so chalky here like my compadres. Parker Washington, talking about a lot of touchdowns, 70-plus degree weather. He is honestly their best wide receiver. He's the hot guy right now. He's going to get loose and catch us a touchdown for the first tutter of the game, and that's going to be Sunday afternoon. Feeling good. The rest of the day, I'm feeling great. Mark, you're just playing the same game as somebody else here. That doesn't bode well for you.
It doesn't. I looked at Parker Washington. I was like, oh, damn, I really liked him today, or for this weekend too. Yeah, give me Dallas Goedert. Why? Because, first of all, Philadelphia's going to score the first touchdown. We know that's happening. Dallas Goedert, he's gotten 2 out of the last 5 first touchdowns for the Eagles. He's that familiarity, that go-to. He finally gets me in the saloon because Joe's already been in. I was going to say, Cheesy, I've been asking the same question of what do I have to do to get in?
All right, that's the best one you've had for sure. All right, well, that is our place to get in, and you can get into the saloon as well. All you have to do is you can do a first touchdown or any play plus 1,000 or more, or you can do a parlay, and that can be at maximum 4 legs is where we draw the line, but it does have to be plus 1,000 or more. We will make fun of you if it's plus 1,000. So please, if you're going to use 4 legs, go out of your way, do a little bit more, right? It's okay to go for it. But we do have some here. I want to make sure we have because I believe it is Sky Too Hottie who's given a couple. This is the only one I see right now. I have to see if I can find his other one. But Oregon, Indiana overtime plus 1,200.
Wow.
I think he's just putting that in as the odds because we talked about it earlier. I'm not sure that's a saloon shot. He may need to clarify, but I think he's just giving us that because that's what we talked about earlier.
Okay, well, we'll have to see. I do know this is a saloon shot. This right here. Yeah. Miss Kim. Panthers. Packers. Oh, my. Jags. Patriots. Money line. Plus 28.73. I know you disagree heavily, Mark.
Well, first of all, what are we doing? Right? I mean, you're going to take all the favorites except for the Packers. That's the visiting team that you're really going to. They're the only one that's going to win. Panthers are at home.
Oh, okay. You said a visiting team. I thought you meant favorite. My fault.
No, visiting teams. Look, the Bills win, the Chargers win. I'm sorry, Miss King. You know what? I'm going to put in a 4-leg fade, Madam Presidente 4-leg parlay.
Wow. Well, I have to say that's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, well, let's go away from that one. We do have more that I want to get to here before it gets too late. We're already close up on an hour at this point. My God. But Cheesy finally, I think it is his first submission ever, but he's going Josh Jacobs, Puka Nacua, Josh Allen, Matthew Golden, taking one from, for the game. anytime touchdown parlay plus 4,500. Talking about shooting your shot. Rob, do you think this is possible?
It is, because nobody's talking about Matthew Golden. And when you first look at it, you're like, that's crazy. He's not getting in. He's a hell of an athlete, and he's a hell of a wide receiver. It wouldn't shock me if this is the week he gets in. I don't hate that, honestly.
All right, well, there you go. We do have another one here. Joe is wanting to submit his plus 1,300 ticket. He's got New England minus 16.5 at plus 1,300. Straight to the dome right here, Mark. People are coming at you.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I felt really great about this weekend, too.
All right.
Look, I'm taking shots left and right.
Well, Ron Jeremy, you're not doing so well.
Easy.
For sure. I got to ask about this, though, real quick. Rich asked this very early in the show, and I completely forgot to hit on it. Does anybody like this? Parlayed Indiana plus 7 with Oregon plus 17. So you find the middle ground right there, and then going over the 40 points at minus 115. Great idea.
I love that look.
Same.
All right. Well, I'm looking for the saloon shot. I don't see it here from Sky Too Hottie, but I'm almost sure I saw something, so I could be wrong.
The only thing I would be careful with that on is that you got to really hope that Indiana can keep it within 7. That Oregon doesn't just blow the doors off them.
I'm glad I'm not involved in any of this. I just get to sit back and listen and watch.
All right. Well, as Miss Kim says, from the guy still sitting outside of the saloon, shut your mouth, sir. All right.
The women of the chat with flamethrowers today.
Flames. And I love every bit of it. We thought Robbie was having a bad day. That chat is jacked up, baby.
I got him ready. I injected that into it.
Woo!
All right. Thank you all for hanging out with us. You make, honestly, this part of our day the best part of our day, 100%. But hopefully we make your day and this time that we spend together the best part of your day as well. But for Mark, Robbie, I'm DG. This is going to be an exceptional weekend, especially for football. Let's have some fun. We'll see you back Sunday night halftime. Don't miss it. We'll be there.